أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير.
Glory be to him who carried his servant by night from the sacred mosque to the distant mosque, the environs of which we have blessed, that we might show him some of our signs. Surely, he alone is the all-hearing, the all-seeing.
وآتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلناه هدى لبني إسرائيل ألا تتخذوا من دوني وكيلا.
And we gave Moses the book, and we made it a guidance for the children of Israel, commanding, "Take ye no guardian beside me."
ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا.
O ye, the progeny of those whom we carried in the ark with Noah, he was indeed a grateful servant of ours.
وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعالن علوا كبيرا.
And we had clearly conveyed to the children of Israel in the book, "You will surely do great mischief in the land twice, and you will surely become excessively overbearing."
فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا.
So when the time for the fulfillment of the first of the two warnings came, we sent against you some servant of ours, possessed of great might in war, and they penetrated into your houses, and it was a warning that was bound to be fulfilled.
ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم وأمددناكم بأموال وبنين وجعلناكم أكثر نفيرا.
Then we gave you back the power against them, and aided you with wealth and children, and also made you larger in numbers than before.
إن أحسنتم أحسنتم لأنفسكم وإن أسأتم فلها فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوء وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوه أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا.
Now, if you do good, you will do good for your own souls. And if you do evil, it will be to your own loss. So when the time for the fulfillment of the latter warning came, we raised a people against you, that they might cover your faces with grief, and that they enter the mosque as they entered it the first time, and that they might destroy utterly all that they conquered.
عسى ربكم أن يرحمكم وإن عدتم عدونا وجعلنا جهنم للكافرين حصيرا.
It may be that your Lord will now have mercy on you, but if you return to mischief, we too will return to punishment. And remember, we have made hell a prison for the disbelievers.
إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي هي أقوم ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا كبيرا.
Surely, this Quran guides to what is most right, and gives to the believers who do good deeds the glad tidings that they shall have a great reward.
وأن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة أعتدنا لهم عذابا أليما.
And warns that, for those who do not believe in the hereafter, we have prepared a grievous punishment.
ويدعو الإنسان بالشر دعاءه بالخير وكان الإنسان عجولا.
And man prays for evil as he should pray for good, and man is very hasty.
وجعلنا الليل والنهار آيتين فمحونا آية الليل وجعلنا آية النهار مبصرة لتبتغوا فضلا من ربكم ولتعلموا عدد السنين والحساب وكل شيء فصلناه تفصيلا.
And we have made the night and the day 2 signs, and the sign of night we have made dark, and the sign of day we have made sight-giving, that you may seek bounty from your Lord, and that you may know the computation of years and the process of reckoning. And everything we have explained with a detailed explanation.
وكل إنسان ألزمناه طائره في عنقه ونخرج له يوم القيامة كتابا يلقاه منشورا.
And every man's works have we fastened to his neck. And on the day of resurrection we shall bring out for him a book, which he will find wide open.
اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا.
It will be said to him, read thy book. Sufficient is thy own soul as reckoner against thee this day.
من اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فإنما يضل عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى وما كنا معذبين حتى نبعث رسولا.
He who follows the right way follows it only for the good of his own soul. And he who goes astray only to his own loss. And no bearer of burden shall bear the burden of another. And we never punish until we have sent a messenger.
وَإِذَا أَرَدْنَا أَن نُهْلِكَ قَرْيَةً أَمَرْنَا مُتْرَفِيهَا فَفَسَقُوا فِيهَا فحق عليها القول فدمرناها تدميرا.
And when we intend to destroy a township, we command its people who live in comfort to adopt the way of righteousness, but they transgress therein, so the sentence of punishment becomes due against it. So we destroy it with utter destruction.
وَكَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا مِنَ الْقُرُونِ مِنْ بَعْدِ نُوحٍ وَكَفَى بِرَبِّكَ بِذُنُوبِ عِبَادِهِ خَبِيرًا بَصِيرًا.
How many generations did we destroy after Noah? And thy Lord suffices as knower and seer of the sins of his servants.
من كان يريد العاجلة عجلنا له فيها ما نشاء لمن نريد ثم جعلنا له جهنم يصلاها مذموما مدحورا.
Whoso desires the present life, we hasten for him therein of its provision what we will, for such of them as we please. Then we appoint hell for him. He shall burn therein, condemned and rejected.
ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا.
And whoso desires the hereafter and strives for it, as it should be striven for, and is a believer, these are the ones whose striving shall be duly appreciated.
كلا نمد هؤلاء وهؤلاء من عطاء ربك وما كان عطاء ربك محظورا.
To all we render aid, to those as well as to these, a gift from thy Lord, and the gift of thy Lord is not restricted.
انظر كيف فضلنا بعضهم على بعض وللآخرة أكبر درجات وأكبر تفضيلا.
Behold, how we have exalted some of them over others in the present life, and surely the hereafter shall be greater in degrees of rank and greater in excellence.
لا تجعل مع الله إلها آخر فتقعد مذموما مخذولا.
So set not up another God with Allah, lest thou sit down condemned and forsaken.
وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا.
Thy Lord has commanded that ye worship none but Him, and that ye show kindness to parents.
إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما.
If one or both of them attain old age with thee, never say to them as much as "ugh," nor reproach them, but always address them with kindly speech.
واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا.
And lower to them the wing of humility out of tenderness, and say, My Lord, have mercy on them, even as they nourished me when I was a little child.
ربكم عالم بما في نفوسكم إن تكونوا صالحين فإنه كان للأوابين غفورا.
Your Lord knows best what is in your minds. If you are righteous, then surely He is most forgiving to those who turn to Him again and again.
وآت ذا القربى حقه والمسكين وابن السبيل ولا تبذر تبذيرا.
And give to the kinsman his due, and to the poor and the wayfarer, and squander not thy wealth extravagantly.
إن المبذرين كانوا إخوان الشياطين وكان الشيطان لربه كفورا.
Verily, the squanderers are brothers of Satan's, and Satan is ungrateful to his Lord.
وإما تعرضن عنهم ابتغاء رحمة من ربك ترجوها فقل لهم قولا ميسورا.
And if thou hast to turn away from them, while seeking thy Lord's mercy, for which thou hopest, even then speak to them a kind word.
ولا تجعل يدك مغلولة إلى عنقك ولا تبسطها كل البسط فتقعد ملوما محسورا.
And keep not thy hand chained to thy neck out of miserliness, nor stretch it forth to its utmost limit out of extravagance, lest thou sit down, blamed, exhausted.
إن ربك يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر إنه كان بعباده خبيرا بصيرا.
Surely, thy Lord enlarges his provision for whom he pleases, and straightens it for whom he pleases. Verily, he knows and sees his servants full well.
ولا تقتلوا أولادكم خشية إملاق نحن نرزقهم وإياكم إن قتلهم كان خطأ كبيرا.
And slay not your children for fear of poverty. It is we who provide for them and for you. Surely, the slaying of them is a grievous sin.
ولا تقربوا الزنا إنه كان فاحشة وساء سبيلا.
And go not nigh unto adultery. Surely, it is a manifest indecency and an evil way.
ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ومن قتل مظلوما فقد جعلنا لوليه سلطانا فلا يسرف في القتل إنه كان منصورا.
And slay not the soul, the slaying of which Allah has forbidden, save for a just cause. And whoso is slain wrongfully, we have surely given his heir authority to demand retribution. But let him not exceed the prescribed bounds in slaying, for therein he will be supported by law.
ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا بالعهد إن العهد كان مسؤولا.
And come not near the property of the orphan, except in the best way, until he attains his maturity. And fulfill the covenant, for the covenant shall be questioned about.
وأوفوا الكيل إذا كلتم وزنوا بالقسطاس المستقيم ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا.
And give full measure when you measure, and weigh with the right balance. That is best and most commendable in the end.
ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا.
And follow not that of which thou hast no knowledge. Verily, the ear and the eye and the heart, all these shall be called to account.
ولا تمش في الأرض مرحا إنك لن تخرق الأرض ولن تبلغ الجبال طولا.
And walk not in the earth haughtily, for thou canst not thus rend the earth, nor canst thou reach the mountains in height.
كل ذلك كان سيئه عند ربك مكروها.
The evil of all these is hateful in the sight of thy Lord.
ذلك مما أوحى إليك ربك من الحكمة ولا تجعل مع الله إلها آخر فتلقى في جهنم ملوما مدحورا.
These injunctions are part of that wisdom which thy Lord has revealed to thee. And set not up with Allah any other God, lest thou be cast into hell, condemned and rejected.
أفأصفاكم ربكم بالبنين واتخذ من الملائكة إناثا إنكم لتقولون قولا عظيما.
What? Has your Lord favored you with sons, and taken for himself females from among the angels? Surely, you say a grievous saying.
وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِيَذَّكَّرُوا وَمَا يَزِيدُهُمْ إِلَّا نُفُورًا.
We have explained the truth in this Quran in various ways, that they may be admonished, but it only increases them in aversion.
قُل لَّوْ كَانَ مَعَهُ آلِهَةٌ كَمَا يَقُولُونَ إِذًا لَّابْتَغَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِي الْعَرْشِ سَبِيلًا.
Say, had there been other gods with him, as they allege, then certainly, by their help, the idolaters would have sought out a way to the owner of the throne.
سبحانه وتعالى عما يقولون علوا كبيرا.
Holy is he, and exalted far above that which they say.
تسبح له السماوات السبع والأرض ومن فيهن وإن من شيء إلا يسبح بحمده ولكن لا تفقهون تسبيحهم إنه كان حليما غفورا.
The seven heavens and the earth and those that are therein extol his glory, and there is not a thing but glorifies him with his praise, but you understand not their glorification. Verily, he is forbearing, most forgiving.
وإذا قرأت القرآن جعلنا بينك وبين الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة حجابا مستورا.
And when thou recitest the Quran, we put between thee and those who believe not in the hereafter an invisible veil.
وجعلنا على قلوبهم أكنة أن يفقهوه وفي آذانهم وقرا وإذا ذكرت ربك في القرآن وحده ولوا على أدبارهم نفورا.
And we put coverings over their hearts, lest they should understand it, and in their ears a deafness. And when thou makest mention in the Quran of thy Lord alone, they turn their backs in aversion.
نحن أعلم بما يستمعون به إذ يستمعون إليك وإذ هم نجوى إذ يقول الظالمون إن تتبعون إلا رجلا مسحورا.
We know best what they listen for when they listen to thee, and when they confer in private, when the wrongdoers say, you follow none but a man who is a victim of deception.
انظر كيف ضربوا لك الأمثال فضلوا فلا يستطيعون سبيلا.
See how they coin similitudes for thee, and have in consequence gone astray, so that they cannot find a way.
وقالوا أئذا كنا عظاما ورفاتا أئنا لمبعوثون خلقا جديدا.
And they say, what? When we shall have become bones and broken particles, shall we be really raised up again as a new creation?
قل كونوا حجارة أو حديدا.
Say, be ye stones or iron,
أو خلقا مما يكبر في صدوركم فسيقولون من يعيدنا قل الذي فطركم أول مرة فسينغضون إليك رؤوسهم ويقولون متاه قل عسى أن يكون قريبا.
Or created matter of any kind which appears hardest in your minds. Even then shall you be raised up. Then will they ask, who shall restore us to life? Say, he who created you the first time. Still, they will shake their heads at thee and say, when will it be? Say, maybe it is nigh.
يوم يدعوكم فتستجيبون بحمده وتظنون إن لبثتم إلا قليلا.
It will be on the day when he will call you. Then you will respond praising him. And you will think that you have tarried in the world but a little while.
وقل لعبادي يقولوا التي هي أحسن إن الشيطان ينزغ بينهم إن الشيطان كان للإنسان عدوا مبينا.
And say to my servants that they should always speak that which is best. Surely, Satan stirs up discord among them. Surely, Satan is an open enemy to man.
ربكم عالم بكم إن يشأ يرحمكم أو إن يشأ يعذبكم وما أرسلناك عليهم وكيلا.
Your Lord knows you best. If he please, he will have mercy on you, or if he please, he will punish you. And we have not sent thee to be a keeper over them.
وربك أعلم بمن في السماوات والأرض ولقد فضلنا بعض النبيين على بعض وآتينا داود زبورا.
And thy Lord knows best those that are in the heavens and the earth. And we exalted some of the prophets over the others. And to David we gave a book.
قل ادعوا الذين زعمتم من دونه فلا يملكون كشف الضر عنكم ولا تحويلا.
Say, call on those whom you assert to be gods beside him. Then you will know that they have no power to remove affliction from you, nor to change your condition.
أولئك الذين يدعون يبتغون إلى ربهم الوسيلة أيهم أقرب ويرجون رحمته ويخافون عذابه إن عذاب ربك كان محذورا.
Those whom they call on themselves seek nearness to their Lord, even those of them who are nearest, and hope for his mercy and fear his punishment. Surely the punishment of thy Lord is a thing to be feared.
وإن من قرية إلا نحن مهلكوها قبل يوم القيامة أو معذبوها عذابا شديدا كان ذلك في الكتاب مسطورا.
There is not a township, but we shall destroy it before the day of resurrection, or punish it with a severe punishment. That is written down in the book.
وما منعنا أن نرسل بالآيات إلا أن كذب بها الأولون وآتينا ثمود الناقة مبصرة فظلموا بها وما نرسل بالآيات إلا تخويفا.
And nothing could hinder us from sending signs, except that the former people rejected them. But this did not hinder us. And we gave Thamud the she-camel as a clear sign, but they unjustly rejected it. And we send not signs, but to warn.
وإذ قلنا لك إن ربك أحاط بالناس وما جعلنا الرؤيا التي أريناك إلا فتنة للناس والشجرة الملعونة في القرآن.
And call to mind when we said to thee, surely thy Lord has decreed the ruin of this people. And we made not the vision which we showed thee, but as a trial for men, as also the tree cursed in the Quran.
ونخوفهم فما يزيدهم إلا طغيانا كبيرا.
And we continue to warn them, but it only increases them in great transgression.
وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس قال أأسجد لمن خلقت طينا.
And call to mind when we said to the angels, submit to Adam, and they all submitted. But Iblis did not. He said, shall I submit to one whom thou hast created of clay?
قال أرأيتك هذا الذي كرمت علي لئن أخرتني إلى يوم القيامة لأحتنكن ذريته إلا قليلا.
And he said, what thinkest thou? Can this, whom thou hast honored above me, be my superior? If thou wilt grant me respite till the day of resurrection, I will most surely bring his descendants under my sway, except a few.
قال اذهب فمن تبعك منهم فإن جهنم جزاؤكم جزاء موفورا.
Allah said, be gone, and whoso shall follow thee from among them, hell shall surely be the recompense of you all, a full recompense.
واستفزز من استطعت منهم بصوتك واجلب عليهم بخيلك ورجلك وشاركهم في الأموال والأولاد وعدهم وما يعدهم الشيطان إلا غرورا.
And entice whomsoever of them thou canst with thy voice, and urge against them thy horsemen and thy footmen, and share with them in wealth and their children, and make promises to them, and Satan promises them naught but deceit.
إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان وكفى بربك وكيلا.
As to my servants, thou shalt certainly have no power over them, and sufficient is thy Lord as a guardian.
ربكم الذي يزجي لكم الفلك في البحر لتبتغوا من فضله إنه كان بكم رحيما.
Your Lord is He who drives you from the ships in the sea, that you may seek of His bounty. Surely He is ever merciful towards you.
وَإِذَا مَسَّكُمُ الضُّرُّ فِي الْبَحْرِ ضَلَّ مَن تَدْعُونَ إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ فَلَمَّا نَجَّاكُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ أَعْرَضْتُمْ وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ كَفُورًا.
And when harm touches you on the sea, all those whom you call upon, except Him, are lost to you. But when He brings you safe to land, you turn aside, and man is very ungrateful.
أَفَأَمِنْتُمْ مَنْ يَخْسِفَ بِكُمْ جَانِبَ الْبَرِّ أَوْ يُرْسِلَ عَلَيْكُمْ حَاصِبًا ثُمَّ لَا تَجِدُوا لَكُمْ وَكِيلًا.
Do you then feel secure that He will not cause you to sink in the earth on the side of the shore, or send against you a violent sandstorm, and then you will find no guardian for yourselves?
أَمْ أَمِنْتُمْ أَنْ يُعِيدَكُمْ فِيهِ تَارَةً أُخْرَى فَيُرْسِلَ عَلَيْكُمْ قاصفا من الريح فيغرقكم بما كفرتم ثم لا تجدوا لكم علينا به تبيعا.
Or do you feel secure that He will not send you back therein a second time, and then send against you a storm blast, and drown you because of your disbelief? You will then find therein no helper for yourselves against us.
وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا.
Indeed, we have honored the children of Adam, and we carry them by land and sea, and provide them with good things, and have exalted them far above many of those whom we have created.
يوم ندعو كل أناس بإمامهم فمن أوتي كتابه بيمينه فأولئك يقرؤون كتابهم ولا يظلمون فتيلا.
Call to mind the day when we shall summon every people with their leader. Then whoso shall be given his book in his right hand, such will read their book eagerly, and they will not be wronged a whit.
ومن كان في هذه أعمى فهو في الآخرة أعمى وأضل سبيلا.
But whoso is blind in this world shall be blind in the hereafter, and even more astray from the way.
وإن كادوا ليفتنونك عن الذي أوحينا إليك لتفتري علينا غيره وإذا لاتخذوك خليلا.
And they had well nigh caused thee severest affliction on account of what we have revealed to thee, that thou mightest forge against us something other than that. And then they would have certainly taken thee for a special friend.
ولولا أن ثبتناك لقد كدت تركن إليهم شيئا قليلا.
And if we had not strengthened thee with the Qur'an, even then thou wouldst have inclined to them but little.
إذا لذقناك ضعف الحياة وضعف الممات ثم لا تجد لك علينا نصيرا.
But if, as they imagine, thou hast been one to forge a lie against us, then we would have made thee taste a heavy punishment in life and a heavy punishment in death, and then thou wouldst not have found for thyself any helper against us.
وإن كادوا ليستفزونك من الأرض ليخرجوك منها وإذا لا يلبثون خلافك إلا قليلا.
And indeed they are near to scare thee, to drive thee away from the land, that they might expel thee therefrom. But in that case, they themselves would not have stayed after thee, save a little.
سنة من قد أرسلنا قبلك من رسلنا ولا تجد لسنتنا تحويلا.
This has been our way with our messengers, whom we sent before thee, and thou wilt not find any change in our way.
أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا.
Observe prayer from the declining and paling of the sun till the darkness of the night, and recite the Quran at dawn. Verily, the recitation of the Quran at dawn is specially acceptable to Allah.
ومن الليل فتهجد به نافلة لك عسى أن يبعثك ربك مقاما محمودا.
And during a part of the night, wake up for its recitation, a supererogatory service for thee. It may be that thy Lord will raise thee to an exalted station.
وقل رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا.
And say, O my Lord, make my entry a good entry, and make me go forth a good going forth, and grant me from thyself a helping power.
وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا.
And proclaim, truth has come and falsehood has vanished. Verily, falsehood is bound to vanish.
وننزل من القرآن ما هو شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارا.
And we gradually reveal of the Quran that which is a healing and a mercy to the believers, but it only adds to the loss of the wrongdoers.
وإذا أنعمنا على الإنسان أعرض ونأى بجانبه وإذا مسه الشر كان يئوسا.
And when we bestow favor on man, he turns away and goes aside. And when evil touches him, he gives himself up to despair.
قل كل يعمل على شاكلته فربكم عالم بمن هو أهدى سبيلا.
Say, everyone acts according to his own way, and your Lord knows well who is best guided.
ويسألونك عن الروح قل الروح من أمر ربي وما أوتيتم من العلم إلا قليلا.
And they ask thee concerning the soul. Say, the soul has been created by the command of my Lord, and of the knowledge thereof you have been given but a little.
وَلَئِن شِئْنَا لَنَذْهَبَنَّ بِالَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ ثُمَّ لَا تَجِدُ لَكَ بِهِ عَلَيْنَا وَكِيلًا.
And if we pleased, we could certainly take away that which we have revealed to thee, and then thou wouldst find no guardian for thyself against us in the matter.
إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَّبِّكَ إِنَّ فَضْلَهُ كَانَ عَلَيْكَ كَبِيرًا.
Except through the special mercy of thy Lord. Surely, great is His grace on thee.
قل لئن اجتمعت الإنس والجن على أن يأتوا بمثل هذا القرآن لا يأتون بمثله ولو كان بعضهم لبعض ظهيرا.
Say, if men and jinn should gather together to produce the like of this Quran, they could not produce the like thereof, even though they should help one another.
وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ فَأَبَى أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ إِلَّا كُفُورًا.
And surely we have set forth for mankind in various ways all kinds of similitudes in this Quran. But most men would reject everything in respect of it but disbelief.
وَقَالُوا لَن نُّؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّى تَفْجُرَ لَنَا مِنَ الْأَرْضِ يَنبُوعًا.
And they say, we will not believe in thee until thou cause a spring to gush forth for us from the earth.
أَوْ تَكُونَ لَكَ جَنَّةٌ مِّن نَّخِيلٍ وَعِنَبٍ فَتُفَجِّرَ الْأَنْهَارَ خِلَالَهَا تَفْجِيرًا.
Or thou have a garden of date palms and vines, and cause streams to gush forth in the midst thereof in abundance.
أَوْ تُسْقِطَ السَّمَاءَ كَمَا زَعَمْتَ عَلَيْنَا كِسَفًا أَوْ تَأْتِيَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ قَبِيلًا.
Or thou cause the heaven to fall upon us in pieces, as thou hast claimed. Or thou bring Allah and the angels before us face to face.
أَوْ يَكُونَ لَكَ بَيْتٌ مِّن زُخْرُفٍ أَوْ تَرْقَىٰ فِي السَّمَاءِ وَلَن نُّؤْمِنَ لِرُقِيِّكَ حَتَّىٰ تُنَزِّلَ عَلَيْنَا كِتَابًا نَّقْرَؤُهُ قُلْ سُبْحَانَ رَبِّي هَلْ كُنتُ إِلَّا بَشَرًا رَّسُولًا.
Or thou have a house of gold, or thou ascend up into heaven, and we will not believe in thy ascension until thou send down to us a book that we can read. Say, Holy is my Lord, I am but a mortal, sent as a messenger.
وَمَا مَنَعَ النَّاسَ أَن يُؤْمِنُوا إِذْ جَاءَهُمُ الْهُدَىٰ إِلَّا أَن قَالُوا أَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ بَشَرًا رَّسُولًا.
And nothing prevents people from believing when the guidance comes to them, save that they say, Has Allah sent a man like us as a messenger?
قُل لَّوْ كَانَ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَلَائِكَةٌ يَمْشُونَ مُطْمَئِنِّينَ لَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ مَلَكًا رَّسُولًا.
Say, had there been in the earth angels walking about in peace and quiet, we should have certainly sent down to them from heaven an angel as a messenger.
قل كفى بالله شهيدا بيني وبينكم إنه كان بعباده خبيرا بصيرا.
Say, sufficient is Allah for a witness between me and you. Surely, He knows and sees His servants full well.
ومن يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد لهم أولياء من دونه.
And he whom Allah guides is the only one rightly guided. But as for those whom He leaves to go astray, thou wilt find for them no helpers beside Him.
ونحشرهم يوم القيامة على وجوههم عميا وبكما وسما مأواهم جهنم كلما خبت زدناهم سعيرا.
And on the day of resurrection, we shall gather them together on their faces, blind, dumb, and deaf. Their abode shall be hell. Every time it abates, we shall increase for them the flame.
ذلك جزاؤهم بأنهم كفروا بآياتنا وقالوا أإذا كنا عظاما ورفاتا أإنا لمبعوثون خلقا جديدا.
That is their recompense, because they rejected our signs and said, What? When we die and are reduced to bones and broken particles, shall we really be raised up as a new creation?
أولم يروا أن الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض قادر على أن يخلق مثلهم وجعل لهم أجلا لا ريب فيه فأبى الظالمون إلا كفورا.
Do they not see that Allah who created the heavens and the earth has the power to create the like of them? And He has appointed for them a term, there is no doubt about it. But the wrongdoers would reject everything but disbelief.
قل لو أنتم تملكون خزائن رحمة ربي إذا لأمسكتم خشية الإنفاق وكان الإنسان قتورا.
Say, even if you possessed the limitless treasures of the mercy of my Lord, you would surely hold them back for fear of exhausting them, for man is niggardly.
ولقد آتينا موسى 9 آيات بينات فاسأل بني إسرائيل إذ جاءهم فقال له فرعون إني لأظنك يا موسى مسحورا.
And certainly we gave Moses 9 manifest signs. So ask then the children of Israel. When he came to them, Pharaoh said to him, I do think thee, O Moses, to be a victim of deception.
قال لقد علمت ما أنزل هؤلاء إلا رب السماوات والأرض بصائر وإني لأظنك يا فرعون مثبورا.
He said, Thou knowest well that none has sent down these signs but the Lord of the heavens and the earth, as so many evidences. And I certainly consider thee, O Pharaoh, to be doomed to perish.
فأراد أن يستفزهم من الأرض فأغرقناه ومن معه جميعا.
So he resolved to remove them from the land, but we drowned him and those who were with him altogether.
وقلنا من بعده لبني إسرائيل اسكنوا الأرض فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة جئنا بكم لفيفا.
And after him we said to the children of Israel, Dwell ye in the promised land, and when the time of the promise of the latter days comes, we shall bring you together out of various peoples.
وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا.
And in accordance with the requirements of truth and wisdom, we have sent it down, and with truth and wisdom has it descended. And we have sent thee only as a bearer of good tidings and a warner.
وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا.
And we have divided the Quran in parts, that thou mayst read it to mankind, slowly and at intervals, and we have sent it down piecemeal.
قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا.
Say, whether you believe therein or believe not, those to whom knowledge has been given before it do fall down prostrate on their faces when it is recited to them.
ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا.
And say, Holy is our Lord. Surely the promise of our Lord is bound to be fulfilled.
ويخرون للأذقان يبكون ويزيدهم خشوعا.
They fall down on their faces, weeping, and it increases humility in them.
قل ادعوا الله أو ادعوا الرحمن أيما تدعوا فله الأسماء الحسنى ولا تجهر بصلاتك ولا تخافت بها وابتغ بين ذلك سبيلا.
Say, call upon Allah or call upon Al-Rahman. By whichever name you call on Him, His are the most beautiful names. And utter not thy prayer aloud, nor utter it too low, but seek a way between.
وقل الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا.
And say, all praise belongs to Allah, who has taken unto Himself no son, and who has no partner in His kingdom, nor has He anyone to help Him because of any weakness of His. And proclaim His greatness, glorifying Him.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful.
الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا.
All praise belongs to Allah, who has sent down the book to His servant, and has not placed therein any crookedness.
قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا.
He has made it a guardian, that it may give warning of a severe chastisement from Him, and that it may give the believers who do good works the glad tidings that they shall have a goodly reward.
ماكثين فيه أبدا
Wherein they shall abide forever.
وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا.
And that it may warn those who say, Allah has taken unto Himself a son.
ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا.
No knowledge have they thereof, nor had their fathers. Monstrous is the word that comes out of their mouths. They speak naught but a lie.
فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا.
So it may be, thou wilt grieve thyself to death, sorrowing after them, if they believe not in this discourse.
إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا.
Verily, we have made all that is on the earth an ornament for it, that we may try them as to which of them is best in conduct.
وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا.
And we shall destroy all that is thereon, and make it a barren soil.
أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا.
Dost thou think that the companions of the cave and the inscription were a wonder among our signs?
إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا.
When the young men betook themselves to the cave for refuge, they said, Our Lord, bestow on us mercy from thyself, and furnish us with right guidance in our affair.
فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا.
So we prevented them from hearing in the cave for a number of years.
ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا.
Then we raised them up that we might know which of the two parties would preserve a better reckoning of the time that they tarried.
نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى.
We will relate to thee their story with truth. They were young men who believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance.
وربطنا على قلوبهم إذ قاموا فقالوا ربنا رب السماوات والأرض لن ندعو ربنا رب السماوات والأرض لن ندعو من دونه إلها لقد قلنا إذا شططا.
And we strengthened their hearts when they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Never shall we call upon any God beside him. For if we did so, we would utter a preposterous thing.
هؤلاء قوم اتخذوا من دونه آلهة لولا يأتون عليهم بسلطان بين فمن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا.
These, our people, have taken for worship other gods beside him. Wherefore do they not bring a clear authority regarding them? And who is more unjust than he who invents a lie concerning Allah?
وَإِذْ اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ يَنشُرْ لكم ربكم من رحمته ويهيئ لكم من أمركم مرفقا.
And now, when you have withdrawn from them, and from that which they worship beside Allah, then seek refuge in the cave. Your Lord will unfold to you His mercy, and will provide for you some easy and comfortable course in this affair of yours.
وترى الشمس إذا طلعت تزاور عن كهفهم ذات اليمين وإذا غربت تقرضهم ذات الشمال وهم في فجوة منه ذلك من آيات الله.
And thou couldst see the sun, as it rose, move away from their cave on the right, and when it set, turn away from them on the left, and they were in a spacious hollow thereof. This is among the signs of Allah.
من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا.
He whom Allah guides is alone rightly guided, but he whom He leaves to go astray, for him thou wilt find no helper or guide.
وتحسبهم أيقاظا وهم رقود ونقلبهم ذات اليمين وذات الشمال وكلبهم باسط ذراعيه بالوسيد لو اطلعت عليهم لوليت منهم فرارا ولملئت منهم رعبا.
Thou mightest deem them awake whilst they are asleep, and we shall cause them to turn over to the right and to the left, their dog stretching out its forelegs on the threshold. If thou hast had a look at them, thou wilt surely turn away from them in fright, and wilt surely be filled with awe of them.
وكذلك بعثناهم ليتساءلوا بينهم قال قائل منهم كم لبثتم قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعد يوم.
And so we raised them up, that they might question one another. One of them said, "How long have you tarried?" They said, "We have tarried a day, or part of a day."
قالوا ربكم أعلم بما لبثتم فابعثوا أحدكم بورقكم هذه إلى المدينة فلينظر أيها أزكى طعاما فليأتكم برزق منه وليتلطف ولا يشعرن بكم أحدا.
Others said, "Your Lord knows best the time you have tarried. Now send one of you with these silver coins of yours to the city, and let him see which of its inhabitants has the purest food, and let him bring you provisions thereof, and let him be courteous, but let him not inform anyone about you."
إنهم يظهروا عليكم يرجموكم أو يعيدوكم في ملتهم ولن تفلحوا إذا أبدا.
For if they should prevail against you, they would stone you, or force you to return to their religion, and then you will never prosper.
وكذلك أعثرنا عليهم ليعلموا أن وعد الله حق وأن الساعة لا ريب فيها إذ يتنازعون بينهم أمرهم فقالوا ابنوا عليهم بنيانا.
And thus did we disclose them to the people, that they might know that the promise of Allah was true, and that, as to the promised hour, there was no doubt about it. And call to mind the time when people disputed among themselves concerning them, and said to each other, "Build over them a building."
ربهم أعلم بهم قال الذين غلبوا على أمرهم لنتخذن عليهم مسجدا.
Their Lord knew them best. Those who won their point said, "We will surely build a place of worship over them."
سيقولون ثلاثة رابعهم كلبهم ويقولون خمسة سادسهم كلبهم رجما بالغيب ويقولون سبعة وثامنهم كلبهم قل ربي أعلم بعدتهم ما يعلمهم إلا قليل.
Some say they were 3, the 4th of them was their dog. And others say they were 5, the 6th of them was their dog, guessing at random. And yet others say they were 7, the 8th of them was their dog. Say, my Lord knows best their correct number.
فلا تمار فيهم إلا مراء ظاهرا ولا تستفت فيهم منهم أحدا.
None knows them except a few. So argue not concerning them except with unanswerable arguments, nor seek information concerning them from any one of them.
ولا تقولن لشيء إني فاعل ذلك غدا.
And say not of anything, I shall do that tomorrow.
إلا أن يشاء الله واذكر ربك إذا نسيت وقل عسى أن يهديني ربي لأقرب من هذا رشدا.
Unless Allah should will. And remember thy Lord when thou forgettest, and say, I hope my Lord will guide me to what is even nearer than this, to the right path.
وَلَبِثُوا فِي كَهْفِهِمْ 300 سِنِينَ وَازْدَادُوا تِسْعًا.
And they stayed in their cave 300 years, and to that they added 9.
قُلِ اللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا لَبِثُوا له غيب السماوات والأرض أبصر به وأسمع ما لهم من دونه من ولي ولا يشرك في حكمه أحدا.
Say, Allah knows best how long they tarried. To Him belong the secrets of the heavens and the earth. How seeing is He, and how hearing. They have no helper beside Him, and He does not let anyone share in His judgment.
وَاتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ كِتَابِ رَبِّكَ لا مبدل لكلماته ولن تجد من دونه ملتحدا.
And recite what has been revealed to thee of the book of thy Lord. There is none who can change His words, and thou wilt find no refuge beside Him.
واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا.
And keep thyself attached to those who call on their Lord morning and evening, seeking His pleasure. And let not thine eyes pass beyond them, seeking the adornment of the life of the world.
ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا.
And obey not him whose heart we have made heedless of our remembrance, and who follows his low desires, and his case exceeds all legitimate bounds.
وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ إِنَّا إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها.
And say, it is the truth from your Lord. Wherefore let him who will believe, and let him who will disbelieve. Verily, we have prepared for the wrongdoers a fire whose flaming canopy shall enclose them.
وَإِن يَسْتَغِيثُوا يُغَاثُوا بِمَاءٍ كَالْمُهْلِ يَشْوِي الْوُجُوهَ بِئْسَ الشَّرَابُ وَسَاءَتْ مُرْتَفَقًا.
And if they cry for help, they will be helped with water like molten lead, which would scald their faces. How dreadful the drink, and how evil the resting place.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا.
Verily, those who believe and do good works, surely we suffer not the reward of those who do good works to be lost.
أولئك لهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتهم الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس واستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك.
It is these who will have gardens of eternity, underneath which streams shall flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and will wear green garments of fine silk and heavy brocade, reclining therein upon raised couches.
نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا.
How good the reward, and how excellent the place of rest.
واضرب لهم مثل الرجلين جعلنا لأحدهما جنتين من أعناب وحففناهما بنخل وجعلنا بينهما زرعا.
And set forth for them the parable of two men. One of them we provided with 2 gardens of grapes, and surrounded them with date palms, and between the two we placed cornfields.
كلتا الجنتين آتت أكلها ولم تظلم منه شيئا وفجرنا خلالهما نهرا.
Each of the gardens yielded its fruits in abundance, and failed not the least therein. And in between the two we caused a stream to flow.
وكان له ثمر فقال لصاحبه وهو يحاوره أنا أكثر منك مالا وأعز نفرا.
And he had fruit in abundance. And he said to his companion boastfully, arguing with him, I am richer than thou in wealth, and stronger in respect of men.
ودخل جنته وهو ظالم لنفسه قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا.
And he entered his garden while he was wronging his soul. He said, I do not think that this will ever perish.
وما أظن الساعة قائمة ولئن رددت إلى ربي لأجدن خيرا منها منقلبا.
And I do not think the promised hour will ever come. And even if I am ever brought back to my Lord, I shall surely find a better resort than this.
قال له صاحبه وهو يحاوره أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا.
His companion said to him, while he was arguing with him, Dost thou disbelieve in him who created thee first from dust, then from a sperm drop, then fashioned thee into a perfect man?
لكن هو الله ربي ولا أشرك بربي أحدا.
But as for me, I believe that Allah alone is my Lord, and I will not associate anyone with my Lord.
ولولا إذ دخلت جنتك قلت ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله إن ترني أنا أقل منك مالا وولدا.
And why didst thou not say, when thou didst enter thy garden, only that which Allah wills comes to pass. There is no power save in Allah. If thou seest me as less than thyself in riches and offspring.
فعسى ربي أن يؤتيني خيرا من جنتك ويرسل عليها حسبانا من السماء فتصبح صعيدا زلقا.
It may be, my Lord will give me something better than thy garden, and will send on thy garden a thunderbolt from heaven, so that it will become bare, slippery ground.
أو يصبح ماؤها غورا فلن تستطيع له طلبا.
Or its water will dry up, so that thou wilt not be able to find it.
وأحيط بثمره فأصبح يقلب كفيه على ما أنفق فيها وهي خاوية على عروشها ويقول يا ليتني لم أشرك بربي أحدا.
And his fruit was totally destroyed. And he began to wring his hands, bewailing all that he had spent on it. And it had all fallen down on its trellises. And he said, "Would that I had not associated anyone with my Lord."
وَلَمْ تَكُنْ لَهُ فِئَةٌ يَنْصُرُونَهُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ وَمَا كَانَ مُنْتَصِرًا.
And he had no party to help him against Allah, nor was he able to defend himself.
هنالك الولاية لله الحق هو خير ثوابا وخير عقبا.
In such a case, protection comes only from Allah, the True. He is best in rewarding and best in respect of the final outcome.
واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء إن أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض فأصبح هشيما تذروه الرياح وكان الله على كل شيء مقتدرا.
And set forth for them the similitude of the life of this world. It is like the water which we send down from the sky, and the vegetation of the earth is mingled with it, and then it becomes dry grass broken into pieces, which the winds scatter, and Allah has full power over everything.
المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا.
Wealth and children are ornaments of the life of this world, but enduring good works are better in the sight of thy Lord, in respect of immediate reward, and better in respect of future hope.
ويوم نسير الجبال وترى الأرض بارزة وحشرناهم فلم نغادر منهم أحدا.
And bethink of the day when we shall remove the mountains, and thou wilt see the nations of the earth march forth against one another, and we shall gather them all together, and shall not leave any one of them behind.
وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا.
And they will be presented to thy Lord, standing in rows. And it will be said to them, Now have you come to us, as we created you at first. But you thought that we would not appoint a time for the fulfillment of our promise to you.
ووضع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا.
And the book of their deeds will be placed before them, and thou wilt see the guilty ones fearful at what is therein. And they will say, O woe to us! What kind of a book is this? It leaves out nothing, small or great, but has recorded it. And they will find all that they did confronting them, and thy Lord does not wrong anyone.
وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ.
And call to mind the time when we said to the angels, Submit to Adam. And they all submitted, but Iblis did not. He was one of the jinn, and he disobeyed the command of his Lord.
أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بئس للظالمين بدلا.
Will you then take him and his offspring for friends instead of me, while they are your enemies? Evil is the exchange for the wrongdoers.
ما أشهدتهم خلق السماوات والأرض ولا خلق أنفسهم وما كنت متخذ المضلين عضدا.
I did not make them witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, nor their own creation, nor could I take as helpers those who lead people astray.
وَيَوْمَ يَقُولُ نَادُوا شُرَكَائِيَ الَّذِينَ زَعَمْتُمْ فَدَعَوْهُمْ فَلَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَهُمْ وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ مَوْبِقًا.
And remember the day when he will say to them, Call those whom you deem to be my partners. Then they will call on them, but they will not answer them, and we shall place a barrier between them.
وَرَأَى الْمُجْرِمُونَ النَّارَ فَظَنُّوا أَنَّهُمْ مُوَاقِعُوهَا ولم يجدوا عنها مصرفا.
And the guilty shall see the fire and realize that they are going to fall therein, and they shall find no escape therefrom.
وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لِلنَّاسِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَكْثَرَ شَيْءٍ جَدَلًا.
And surely we have explained in various ways in this Quran, for the good of mankind, all manner of similitudes. But of all things, man is most contentious.
وَمَا مَنَعَ النَّاسَ أَن يُؤْمِنُوا إِذْ جَاءَهُمُ الْهُدَى وَيَسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّهُمْ يستغفروا ربهم إلا أن تأتيهم سنة الأولين أو يأتيهم العذاب قبلا.
And nothing hinders people from believing when the guidance comes to them, and from asking forgiveness of their Lord, but that they wait for the fate of the ancients to overtake them, or that punishment should come upon them face to face.
وما نرسل المرسلين إلا مبشرين ومنذرين ويجادل الذين كفروا بالباطل ليدحضوا به الحق واتخذوا آياتي وما أنذروا هزوا.
And we send not the messengers but as bearers of glad tidings and as warners. And those who disbelieve contend by means of falsehood, that they may rebut the truth thereby. And they take my signs and what they are warned of only as a jest.
ومن أظلم ممن ذكر بآيات ربه فأعرض عنها ونسي ما قدمت يداه إنا جعلنا على قلوبهم أكنة أن يفقهوه وفي آذانهم وقرا وإن تدعهم إلى الهدى فلن يهتدوا إذن أبدا.
And who is more unjust than he who is reminded of the signs of his Lord, but turns away from them, and forgets what his hands have sent forward? Verily, we have placed veils over their hearts, that they understand it not, and in their ears a deafness. And if thou call them to guidance, they will never accept it.
وَرَبُّكَ الْغَفُورُ ذُو الرَّحْمَةِ لو يواخذهم بما كسبوا لعجل لهم العذاب بل لهم موعد لن يجدوا من دونه موئلا.
And thy Lord is most forgiving, Lord of mercy. If he were to seize them for what they have earned, then surely he would have hastened the punishment for them. But they have an appointed time, from which they will find no refuge.
وَتِلْكَ الْقُرَى أَهْلَكْنَاهُمْ لَمَّا ظَلَمُوا وَجَعَلْنَا لِمَهْلِكِهِمْ مَوْعِدًا.
And these towns, we destroyed them when they committed iniquities, and we appointed a time for their destruction.
وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِفَتَاهُ لَا أَبْرَحُ حَتَّى أَبْلُغَ مَجْمَعَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ أَوْ أَمْضِيَ حُقُبًا.
And remember the time when Moses said to his young companion, I will not cease pursuing my course until I reach the junction of the two seas, though I may have to journey on for ages.
فلما بلغا مجمع بينهما نسيا حوتهما فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا.
But when they reached the place where the two seas met, they forgot their fish, and it made its way into the sea, going away quickly.
فلما جاوزا قال لفتاه آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا.
And when they had gone beyond that place, he said to his young companion, "Bring us our morning meal. Surely we have suffered much fatigue on account of this journey of ours."
قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره واتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا.
He replied, "Didst thou see, when we betook ourselves to the rock for rest, and I forgot the fish, and none but Satan caused me to forget to mention it to thee. It took its way into the sea in a marvelous manner."
قال ذلك ما كنا نبغي فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا.
He said, "That is what we have been seeking." So they both returned, retracing their footsteps.
فوجدا عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما.
Then they found a servant of ours, upon whom we had bestowed mercy from us, and whom we had taught knowledge from ourselves.
قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا.
Moses said to him, "May I follow thee on condition that thou teach me some of the guidance which thou hast been taught?"
قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا.
He replied, "Thou canst not have patience with me.
وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا.
And how canst thou have patience about things the knowledge of which thou comprehendest not?"
قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا.
He said, "Thou wilt find me, if Allah please, patient, and I shall not disobey any command of thine."
قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا.
He said, "Well, if thou wouldst follow me, then ask me no questions about anything till I myself speak to thee about it.
فانطلقا حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة خرقها قال خرقتها لتغرق أهلها لقد جئت شيئا إمرا.
So they both set out, till when they embarked in a boat, he made a hole in it. Moses said, Hast thou made a hole in it, to drown those who are in it? Surely, thou hast done a grievous thing.
قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا.
He replied, Did I not tell thee that thou canst not have patience with me?
قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا.
Moses said, Take me not to task for what I forgot, and be not hard on me for this lapse of mine.
فانطلقا حتى إذا لقيا غلاما فقتله قال قتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا.
So they journeyed on, till when they met a young boy, he slew him. Moses said, What, hast thou slain an innocent person without his having slain anyone? Surely, thou hast done a hideous thing.